So good morning, everyone. Well, I say good morning. For many people, it can be any time of the day that you're seeing this. So it's morning for me, and actually, it's about 10:30 a.m. So it's mid-morning, and it's already about 30 degrees here, and I'm in the south of France, and we are in June, so it gets warm, and I was thinking I'm warm and my brain has stopped working, and I thought I was actually in the sun, and it really is too warm. So I thought I'll walk to where we have tree covering. So I'm in this little place here where the trees are they've got me in shade. So I may stay in this tree cover and walk up and down, or if I can handle the sun, I'll walk in the sun. But I shouldn't complain. This weather is very nice, and so I wanted to do another video today, and again I have a few subjects that I wanted to talk about. But something caught my attention the other day, and I thought this is actually quite important. Elon Musk has said, well, I think what we can take from the news article is that reportedly he has said that he expects the need for reducing number of employees in Tesla. And the figure that's quoted is around 10%, because he sees some slowdown. I'm trying to remember what he called it, but basically it was reported that he has said something that indicated that economic slowdown is likely. And I don't know if you can hear, but I can hear some animals, some dogs over here. And I'm just pausing whilst in case those dogs and animals are running this way. I'll just pause for a moment. Anyway, but so Elon has, I don't know if you can hear them. There's some dogs and people. They're in that direction. It means nothing to you where I'm pointing, but I thought I would just talk about it. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, if they come down this lane, I'll actually get it on video, and I might have to run in that direction. So this direction behind me. Never mind. So Elon, so he's also politely said, all of those that want to pretend working from home, well, you need to think about that. And so he's mentioned that some reducing manpower at Tesla is possible. And he's also indicated that if you don't want to come back to work because you want to work from home, that could be a problem. And unless you are exceptional, he'll make allowances. But what Elon is actually doing right there is this is actually what really happens in real life. Managers, it's normally executives have to make these decisions. And if you can see an economic downturn, whatever that might be, time of year, or costs going up, or maybe your marketplace is slowing down, and the implications of what Elon, might have said are that he's expecting sales to go down. So of course, reducing non-essential, actually all your staff is essential, but you have to make decisions about cost, and the labour cost is one of the most expensive things for a business. So indicating that he's going to look at, or he thinks it's a good idea to let go some of his manpower. This happens all the time in organisations, but I love the way the media report it as though he's a devil. this is terrible, it's the worst thing that could happen, Elon's bad. But in actual fact, this happens all the time, and it happens to a worse degree, than what Elon is saying. Managers will, they will say to, well, it's normally the shareholders and the executives that turn around to some poor manager and they say, tomorrow, let 30% of the workforce go. I don't care how you do it, just do it. And that would be a normal instruction in business. And what normally happens with an instruction like that is the time frame. It's normally do it tomorrow, and the manager thinks, oh my God, I'm going to have to, this is just landed on my desk. I have to do it. It's so difficult to do, and also very disruptive to the people that are left, because they start not to trust, and it's very demotivating. Anyway. But the reason that I'm interested in this is the timing of it, and the fact that he specifically he indicated a 10% reduction. And I'm trying to remember what he called this economic downturn. It was something like extremely big, or he's expecting some serious north wind. Now, if we are going through an economic reset right now, and I believe that we are, and once again, you'll find in my videos these days some written disclosures. Because I'm worried about censorship, I'm having to be very careful of what I say. And if you look in the video below, I've put some disclaimers there, and basically they say that everything I do say is my own opinion, and then I explain that the subjects I talk about are very varied and very wild, and often I have to greatly generalize to make points. So what that basically says is that I could be wrong, and if I am wrong, I'm more than happy to be wrong. But I'm offering a framework of reference based on what I understand, based on the information available to me. So that's what my disclaimers do. And this is just to deal with censorship that I'm obviously facing, like everybody else. There are certain things you can't talk about, and so I would love to talk about them, but YouTube, it just won't allow you. So read into that what you will. Anyway, back to Elon. So, so Elon is somebody that I would consider is very connected to economic temperature gauges in the US and around the world, and I think he will have access to some very switched on, clever people that have accurate information. And these people will be advising him, and then that advice and information turns into an Elon opinion, and then he squirts it out. And I think this is great, because it's almost like free business intelligence. So I like it. And but it also makes sense to me, because I believe we're going through an economic reset. And in another video, I've explained that basically what an economic reset does is it removes money from people's pockets to maintain and strengthen the value of that money. And I think I've clumsily offered an explanation how that happens and why it happens, and how it works. But essentially, that's what an economic reset is, and it needs to happen for money to remain valuable and for a money system to function. And I'm talking about a fiat-based, central bank-based money system that we have, that everyone is subject to around the world. And I think we're going through an economic reset. And so prices increasing, inflation increasing, and shortages. These are all the components of a financial reset. And many people will talk about this and will offer a similar view, or a view that amounts to the same thing, and that is that money needs to be taken out of society, and it needs to go back to the issuer of that money, the central bank, so that the way the economy works, which is basically labour driven and access to resources, all that can be reset so it works again. And I've often explained to people that how it works is the analogy that I like is, have you ever played Monopoly, the game Monopoly? And there is a bank, and you go around the Monopoly board acquiring assets. Well, that is such a close analogy, close example of how the real world works. It's quite amazing. And I remembered when I was a kid, and my grandma, we would play with my grandma. It would normally be my sister, myself, my grandma, and my dad, and maybe my grandfather. But I remember I always wanted to be the banker, and because I knew at some point in time I could loan myself some money without telling everybody else. And sure enough, that's what I did. And on one occasion, my sister was running out of money. And people, and she kept on landing on hotels, and she was being fined, and she was running out of cash. And so I slipped my sister some cash because I was the banker. And she looked at me and she said, "Stephen's cheating. He's giving me money." And I said, "Michelle, why don't you shut your mouth and just receive the money because I'm helping you?" And she said, "But it's cheating." And I said, "Michelle, I'm helping you. I'm helping you," and she wouldn't have it. And so that was how I dealt with the Monopoly board when I was a kid. I just wanted to be the banker so that I could loan myself money without telling anyone. And it kind of worked for me when I was a kid. That sort of made sense, and it worked. And I'm sure that my dad and my grandma, they must have realised that I was cheating, but they never said anything because it worked and kept me quiet. So I think that's why it worked. Anyway, so I just wanted to mention Elon Musk and his comments about the economy. And it's June 1922. It's June 2022, and he is foreseeing or predicting, a worse economic situation than we have today. And I think he might be right. And it makes a lot of sense to me because it resets the economy. So, I suppose what I'm saying implies that there's a hidden hand here. And there's an amount of control somewhere that has significant influence over the world economy, and I suppose that is my view. That is what I'm saying. So I can't apologize for that because it's what I think. And can I prove it? No. I don't want to prove it either. I just want to offer it as an opinion because I think it's helpful and it's informative, and iron sharpens iron, and if I'm wrong, I'm more than happy to be wrong. But I would like someone to explain to me why I'm wrong. And this is the interesting thing, because throughout my work experience, I've met a lot of economists with PhD in front of their name, and I've basically had this conversation with them, and I've asked them to correct me and to explain why I'm wrong if they think I'm wrong. And I don't think to date anyone has actually. In fact, they haven't. And in fact, what has happened is, a week later, a month later, or the next time I've met them, they've said to me, "Oh, Stephen, yes, a few things that you said, in retrospect, I can see your view, and you might be right." So I thought, that's interesting. You've got a PhD in front of your name, and all I did was offer some very basic stuff from some first principles, but yet, with your PhD, you didn't understand them. So I always found that really interesting. And and once again, you can read into that, and it is very, very interesting. Anyway, as you can see, I'm still in the tree cover, so I don't burn in the sun, and it's only 10:30 in the morning. But I think what I'm going to do is wrap it up there, because this heat has already stopped my brain functioning, hence I'm rambling, and I'm going to have to go back and have a cup of water and perhaps another cup of tea, and I don't know, I think that the next opportunity for videos will be when either tomorrow morning when it's cooler again, or this evening. Actually, this evening doesn't work because I'm normally pooped and tired, and the last thing I want to do is talk to this thing. Never mind talk to people. I definitely don't want to do that. But talking to this thing, because this takes a lot of effort actually, especially in 30 degrees of heat and sunshine. It's amazing how your brain just goes blah. But inside I managed to work, and that's okay. Anyway, I'm going to say it there. Hopefully there is the person that watches this video to put them to sleep. Hopefully this will do that job, so that will be good. And I hope everyone is well, and I will speak to you all again.